Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most brutal deaths in All of Us Are Dead. For this list, we're looking at the most violent, gruesome, or emotionally impactful deaths on Netflix's zombie high school K-drama. We will be including moments where infected characters turn into zombies, joining the undead. Beware, spoilers ahead. Which of these moments is seared into your memory? Tell us in the comments. Number 10. Hyunju. While Hyunju was one of Hyosan Hai's worst tormentors, her demise was nonetheless brutal. When science teacher Mr. Lee discovers that she's infected, he ties her up and gags her.
살려달라고. 희망 같은 거 갖지 마.
Like Mr. Lee's son Jin-soo, she seems to turn in stages, moving back and forth between moments of lucid horror and zombification.
죽이려고. 야, 현주야, 무슨 주사? 내가 다 죽일 거야.
After she's sedated, the process slows down, but only until she wakes up in the hospital. It's here that she goes full zombie, breaking her own back. The sight of her scrambling across the floor after the hospital staff is the stuff of nightmares. Number 9. Chung-san's mother.
청산아.
Parents don't have a lot of luck in All of Us Are Dead. Hee-soo is a new mother for just a few minutes before she turns. Onju's dad Soju sacrifices himself for his daughter. But the one we feel sorriest for is Chung-san's mom. A sweet and kind woman who dotes on her son, she makes her way to the school to find him. Once there, she's reassured to spot Chung-san's best friend, until he attacks her. Watching zombies tear into her as she tries to crawl away is truly harrowing. As if that wasn't enough, as a zombie, she's beaten up by the survivors. Then blown up in the bomb that hits Hyosan Hai. Number 8. Young-nam.
선생님, 내가 왕따 당한다고 했을 때 그러셨죠. 그걸 왜 나한테 말해? 니네 담임한테 가서 얘기하지.
While some deaths in this list are tragic, others just seem excruciatingly painful. Before the zombie outbreak, the dean of Hyosan High, Jung Young-nam, turned a blind eye to cruelty among the students. That included Gui-nam's torment of Eun-ji. It's pretty fitting then that he falls prey to the circle of violence that engulfs the school. The way he goes out though looks really rough.
아프면 양호실로 가야지.
After he tries to brain Eun-ji, she stops eating goldfish for long enough to turn the tables. As he screams in agony, she rips open his stomach and eats his guts. Number 7. Woo-jin.
무리하지 마라. 알았지?
The zombie apocalypse brings out both the best and the worst in people. Some, like Gui-nam, sacrifice those around them to survive. Others, like Woo-jin, put their lives on the line for those they love. When the survivors reach Yangdong, they discover that the town is already overrun. As a zombie lunges for Woo-jin's sister Hari, he throws himself in front of her, only to get bitten himself. Hari cries over her brother as he turns. She can't bear to see him killed, so Namra steps in, snapping his neck. After the survivors have already been through so much, it is an especially devastating loss. Number 6. Halim.
나 너무 어지러워.
많이 어지러워?
Hapless Halim doesn't get much screen time, but her brief appearance sure is memorable, largely thanks to the way she goes out. While hiding in the girls' bathroom, Halim starts to feel dizzy. Mi-jin is quick to react, ignoring Halim's pleas and trapping her inside the stall. As the still human Halim peers over, Mi-jin knocks her back down. The crunch of her head hitting the pipe is sickening. But there's worse to come, as Mi-jin uses a broken mop handle to spear the zombified girl through the head. An arrow through the neck from Hari finishes the job. Number 5. Junyoung. When the survivors decide to build a mobile barricade, they bicker over the design. Mi-jin insults and hits Junyoung, but he stands firm and vows to take responsibility. Unfortunately, it turns out that the barricade isn't quite high enough. While trying to save Mi-jin, Junyoung is bitten. Sitting on the floor, he realizes it's all over for him. In one last brave act, he clambers over the barricade to help his friends to safety. As Mi-jin screams and holds his hand, the zombies sink their teeth into his flesh. This one really hurt. Number 4. Isak.
이사가 왜 이렇게 차? 뭐가?
Poor Isak. Bubbly, bright, and loyal, she seemed destined to make it through at least the first half of the series. Instead, she was infected in just the second episode. Her horrified realization was painful to watch, as it slowly sank in that she was about to transform into a savage, mindless zombie.
나 아니지? 그런 거 아니지?
At first, she sought refuge in denial and disbelief. But once she turned, a bloodthirsty monster rose in her place. Not only did Isak get zombified, she was also pushed out of a window. That's pretty brutal. Number 3. Chung-san and Guinam. The idea of an eye for an eye is given a very literal spin by these rivals. After Chung-san stabs him in the eye, Guinam is hurled into a horde of zombies. He wakes up as a half-zombie. The two fight a final time just as the military prepares to bomb Hyosan-hai. Pinned down, Chung-san gets his own eye gouged out. But as the bomb hits, he grabs onto Guinam and throws them both down an elevator shaft. Engulfed in flames, their charred bodies plummet towards the concrete below. Both these deaths were brutal, and Chung-san's was an emotional gut punch. Number 2. Kyung-soo. This death was easily one of the most heart-wrenching. After Na-yeon accuses Kyung-soo of being infected, he waits in the recording studio to prove that he isn't gonna turn. So, just to prove herself right, Na-yeon infects him with zombie blood. His realization is as slow and painful to watch as Isak's.
공수야, 괜찮아. 다들 고마웠어. 꼭 살아.
As he tries to leave to spare the others, we see the effects of the virus through his eyes, as his own friends seem to mock him. It adds another layer of horror onto his tragic fate. On top of all that, he falls from a window and is blown up by the same bomb that takes out many of the others. Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Ji-min, abandoning her friend. She jumps out of the frying pan and into the fire. Chang-hun, the school nurse bites off a chunk of his face. Jun-sung, he lets himself get eaten to save his friends. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Jin-soo.
아빠가 사랑해.
The virus's first victim suffers a truly undeserved fate. The science teacher's son, Jin-soo, stands at the center of the cycle of violence in Hyosan High, but through no fault of his own. Tormented by Myung-hwan and his cronies, he falls into despair, prompting his own father to infect him with an experimental virus. Even as he begins to transform into a monster, though, he is beaten to a pulp by Guinam and thrown off a building. He survives, only to be bashed by dear old dad and stuffed into a suitcase. Jeez. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.